Have you ever wondered about the mysteries that history holds? One of the most intriguing is the disappearance of the Roanoke Colony. This tale begins in the late 16th century, when a group of English settlers embarked on a journey across the vast Atlantic Ocean in search of a new life. Their destination was an island off the coast of what is now North Carolina, Roanoke. This wasn't just a simple tale of exploration and settlement. It's a story that has puzzled historians for centuries, a story that has become a symbol of mystery and intrigue. These settlers, over 100 in number, vanished without a trace, leaving behind only cryptic clues and an enduring enigma. The disappearance of the Roanoke Colony has been a subject of fascination, speculation, and even fear. It represents one of history's most significant unsolved mysteries. So, let's journey back in time to the year 1587 to unravel the mystery of the lost colony of Roanoke. Our story begins in 1584, when Queen Elizabeth granted Sir Walter Raleigh a charter to establish a colony in the New World. This was an age of exploration, an era where nations competed for the riches and resources of undiscovered lands. Queen Elizabeth I, eager to expand England's influence and wealth, gave Raleigh the green light to venture across the treacherous Atlantic. However, Raleigh himself never set foot in the New World. Instead, he dispatched an exploratory expedition under the command of Philip Amadas and Arthur Barlow. Their venture bore fruit when they discovered an island off the North Carolina coast. The indigenous people, the Algonquian-speaking tribes, welcomed them with open arms, and the Englishmen were taken with the richness of the land and the friendliness of its people. They returned to England with tales of an Eden-like paradise, a place they named Roanoke. Raleigh was thrilled by the prospects and immediately planned a settlement expedition. In 1585, under the leadership of Sir Richard Grenville, the first group of colonists set sail for Roanoke. However, their dream of paradise quickly turned into a nightmare. The colonists faced harsh weather, food shortages, and a strained relationship with the Algonquian tribes. Grenville returned to England for supplies, leaving the colonists to fend for themselves. When he returned a year later, he found the Roanoke settlement deserted. No trace of the colonists remained. It seemed the New World was a far harsher mistress than they had anticipated. This first attempt at settlement had ended in failure. But the English were not so easily dissuaded. The allure of the New World, with its promise of wealth and new beginnings, was too strong. They were determined to carve out a corner of this wild, untamed land for themselves. The first attempt was a failure, but that didn't deter the English. They were determined to establish their presence in the New World. In 1587, a second attempt at colonizing Roanoke was made, led by Governor John White. The hope was high, the spirits were strong, and the dream of a prosperous English colony in the New World was alive. During this second attempt, the colony saw the birth of Virginia Dare, the first English child born in the Americas. A beacon of hope and symbol of the colony's potential, Virginia Dare represented the promise of a new generation, born not on English soil, but in this new land, destined to become their home. Yet, the dream of Roanoke was not to be an easy one. The colonists soon faced a harsh reality. The land was difficult to cultivate, food was scarce, and relations with the local Native American tribes were fraught with tension. The fledgling colony was in dire need of supplies and support from England. Governor White made the difficult decision to return to England to gather the much-needed supplies. He left his daughter, Eleanor Dare, and his newborn granddaughter, Virginia, behind, promising to return with aid. As he embarked on his journey across the treacherous Atlantic, his heart was heavy with worry, but filled with hope. Yet, the winds of fate had other plans. England was at war with Spain, and every available ship was called to battle. White's return to Roanoke was delayed, not for months but for years. He was forced to remain in England, anxious and helpless, as he imagined the struggles his fellow colonists were enduring. As White left Roanoke for England, little did he know that it would be the last time he would see his fellow colonists. The promise of a new beginning, embodied by the birth of Virginia Dare, was overshadowed by the daunting uncertainty that lay ahead. The story of Roanoke was turning into a tale of hopes dashed, dreams deferred, and a mystery that would baffle the world for centuries to come. Upon White's return to Roanoke in 1590, he was greeted not by his fellow colonists, but by an eerie silence. The settlement, once bustling with the humdrum of daily life, lay abandoned, its inhabitants vanished as if swallowed by the earth. Governor John White had left behind his daughter, his granddaughter, and a colony full of English settlers when he sailed for England in 1587. His mission was to bring back supplies for the struggling colony, but his return was delayed by 3 long years due to the Anglo-Spanish War. As he stepped foot on Roanoke Island, he was met with a sight that was far from the warm welcome he had anticipated. The houses were dismantled, not with the haste of a forced departure, but with an eerie deliberateness suggesting that the colonists had left of their own volition. The fort was deserted, the cannons buried, and personal belongings were nowhere to be found. It was as if the colonists had erased their own existence, leaving behind only the skeleton of a once thriving settlement. But amidst this scene of desolation, a single clue emerged. Carved into a wooden post of the fort was the word Croatoan, a name that echoed in the silence of the deserted island. This was the name of a nearby island, home to a Native American tribe friendly to the English. No distress signal, the Maltese cross, which the colonists had agreed to leave in case of danger, was found. This suggested that their departure was not forced, but was it peaceful? The island of Croatoan, now known as Hatteras Island, held no further clues. The colonists had seemingly vanished into thin air, leaving behind only a word etched in wood. This single word would go down in history, forever linked with one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of the New World. With no sign of the colonists, the only clue was the cryptic word Croatoan. The mystery of what happened to the Roanoke Colony deepens. Over the centuries, the mystery of the Roanoke Colony has fueled numerous theories and speculations. This enigmatic piece of history has been a fertile ground for hypotheses, each more intriguing than the last. One of the most widely considered theories is that the colonists integrated with the local Native American tribes. This hypothesis is supported by reports of English-speaking Native Americans and unusual European artifacts found among local tribes in the years following the colony's disappearance. Some believe that the colonists, faced with hardships, may have chosen to join the tribes for survival. Another theory suggests that the colonists moved inland and attempted to establish a new settlement. John White, the colony's governor, had instructed the colonists to leave a sign if they decided to move. The word Croatoan, carved on a post at the deserted settlement, could indicate that the colonists relocated to Croatoan Island, now known as Hatteras Island. The possibility of a Spanish attack also holds some merit. The Spanish, who had a presence in Florida, were not pleased with the English encroaching upon what they considered their territory. It's conceivable that they destroyed the Roanoke Colony, although no definitive evidence has ever surfaced to support this theory. Yet another intriguing theory is the Dare Stones. These are a series of stones allegedly inscribed by Eleanor Dare, a Roanoke colonist, which narrate a tale of moving inland and facing attacks from Native Americans. However, most historians consider these stones to be a 20th century hoax. A more supernatural explanation suggests a curse or otherworldly forces at play. While this is a popular theory in folklore and fiction, it lacks any historical or scientific basis. Despite the multitude of theories, none provide a definitive answer. Each hypothesis has its strengths and weaknesses, and without concrete evidence they remain just that, theories and speculations. The mystery of Roanoke remains unsolved, a fascinating puzzle of history that continues to captivate us. From the establishment of the Roanoke Colony to its eerie disappearance, the story is a riveting chapter in history. This tale of the first English settlement in the New World, founded in the late 16th century, has captivated historians and enthusiasts alike for centuries. The colony's sudden vanishing, marked by the enigmatic Croatoan etched into a post, continues to baffle us. Despite numerous theories, from assimilation with local tribes to devastating diseases, the truth remains elusive. The return of Governor John White, who found the settlement deserted, only deepens the mystery. His heartbreaking discovery of the abandoned colony, with no clear signs of struggle or hurried departure, leaves us with more questions than answers. This enduring enigma of Roanoke Colony is a stark reminder of the many mysteries history holds. As we delve into history, we realize that some mysteries, like that of the Roanoke Colony, may forever remain unsolved, and perhaps that's what makes them all the more intriguing.